Since Lewis Hamilton announced that he would be moving to Ferrari in 2025, the F1 silly season has been in full swing. In recent months, some more pieces have been added to the puzzle, most notably Alonso's announcement of a longer stay at Aston Martin. As he has been since Lewis Hamilton's unexpected decision to leave Ferrari, Mercedes claims that Antonelli will continue to be their Plan A driver for the forthcoming season. If Verstappen's shocking Red Bull exit remains the only way to unseat Antonelli, it would only take an equally stunning performance from the 17-year-old in Mercedes' exclusive F1 testing program. Mercedes has consistently said that it does not wish to overwork Antonelli, a stance that team manager Toto Wolff acknowledged is starting to pose an issue. "We are hyping that young man for a long time now, and he will be a great driver one day in Formula One," Wolff said. "But he's 17. 14 months ago he drove an F4 car. Antonelli last raced in F4 19 months ago, and there is so much expectation in Italy. We are a little bit guilty also of talking about him at that stage. We should let him do his F2 thing and deliver results, and not be too carried away with what could be or should be. Look at George Russell, he won F3 back when it was GP3, and F2 in his rookie year, and at the same time Kimi has delivered in those junior series and is in F2 now, and so we'll see. He's going to be in Formula One one day, but let's not rush it." Mercedes has refuted rumours that they requested an FIA exemption in order to grant Antonelli a super license to compete in Formula One racing. The sport's governing body instituted an 18-year-old minimum age restriction after Max Verstappen entered the competition at the age of 17. Antonelli is 17, but turns 18 on August 25 this year, the same day as the Dutch Grand Prix. Only his age stands in his way, as he already has enough super license points to compete in Formula One, thanks to his junior triumphs. I guess for the Italians, it's super exciting to have Lewis Hamilton in red next year. We will get used to the outfits, but we have got to look at ourselves, Wolff said. Maybe there is an option that we shine more with an Italian in our car, so we're pushing back hard. Although they attempted to downplay their expectations of the Italian, Mercedes tested Antonelli in their 2021 and 2022 Formula One vehicles in April. Antonelli, who has been performing on par with and occasionally better than his Formula 2 teammate Oliver Bearman this season, has received plaudits from technical director James Allison. "I have had the great pleasure of listening to the engineers describe the interaction with him," said Allison. "Just a young, enthusiastic driver, very, very fast, metronomic in his pace. Has not been in an F1 car until recently, but made it look like he'd been in one for ages within a lap or two. He came at this generation of cars, the ground effect cars, with an open mind. He feels all the same things that you'd expect him to feel. But he's not sort of polluted by the previous cars, so he just takes them as they are and tells us what he is feeling as weaknesses and strengths. He lets the engineers work to try to improve those things, but he looks like a very promising young driver. However, there are still a few intriguing free agents available. Carlos Sainz in particular has the potential to have a chain reaction. These changes might be completely unbelievable. For 2025, Sainz is currently searching for a cockpit. The Spaniard can choose between Audi, Mercedes and Red Bull. Though they are contingent on certain requirements, the first two options are the more desirable ones. Despite enjoying a tremendous season, Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz is yet to secure a seat for the following season. He has a plethora of options. For the 29-year-old Spaniard, there is no shortcut. Whether he goes with Red Bull, Mercedes or Audi, he is going to have to make a big decision. The three-time Grand Prix winner refuted a rumor in Miami. "It is not true that I cancelled Audi. It's one of the options I have on the table." The VW Group and Audi have been successful with everything they've touched in motorsport. Sainz would also sign with Audi right away. The choice had initially been kept close to his dear driver's chest by Formula One Chief Executive Officer Andreas Seidel. The Spanish driver has received frank admiration even from the arriving Hülkenberg. But Audi has realised that Sainz's options are more complicated than they seem, and that waiting might get him there. Thus the open invitation has lately loosened. Sainz must take care, though, to avoid waiting too long. Right now, Red Bull is unable to commit to anything with Sainz. Before making a decision, Max Verstappen is waiting to hear from sports director Helmut Marko. It's possible that for a while, nothing in this regard will change. His teammate Sergio Perez is driving far too well this year to make the decision to replace him with Sainz. In fact, some sources even suggest that Perez's one-year contract may be extended soon. Then there is Daniel Ricciardo, who has yet to demonstrate more than a fourth-place result in the Miami Sprint, but is expected to pitch himself for a return to the Red Bull A team. Nonetheless, Sainz is acting in good faith and thinks Verstappen is connected to the open Mercedes cockpit. The CEO of the team, Toto Wolff, is very clear that he wants the three-time world champion on his wish list in the event that the turmoil at Red Bull forces him to go. For a three-time world champion, Mercedes does not yet offer an appealing technology package. Sainz can choose to play poker and finally forfeit Audi, because Seidel is also limited in the number of replacements available. He needs to realise that his only role at Mercedes will be to fill Verstappen's shoes. Antonelli and Russell continue to be obstacles. Carlos Sainz will thus most likely be the first player to run out of time in this particular game. He's still ready to hold out. I don't want to rush into anything because then it could be the wrong decision. So, if Carlos Sainz would have any chances of going to Sauber, which of the two drivers would have to leave, since they already announced Nico Hülkenberg as their new driver starting from 2025? During the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix weekend in Imola, Bottas was spotted having coffee with Williams team principal James Vowles in the team's camper. The Finn shrugged this down, telling the media that it is just a normal aspect of being in the paddock. He answered, "It was normal things about life," when asked what the topic of the talk was. Of course, when you're on the free market, you want to check around what's out there. It's a pretty normal situation being when you're on the free market. Following the race, Bottas's Formula One future was once again discussed. He had previously driven for Williams for his first 4 seasons in the sport, from 2013 to 2016. He continued by saying he was hoping to hear more soon on that front, and made a suggestion that Williams might even be involved in talks. "I think things will start to move these next weeks," he told the media. "That's the intended outcome." The current Kick Sauber driver said, "I don't know," in response to the question of whether more coffees are on the schedule, alluding to his encounter with Vowles earlier in the weekend. "I like coffee, maybe that's why." After beginning his Formula One career with Williams, Bottas switched to Mercedes in 2017. In 2022, he drove for Alfa Romeo as the Hinwil-based team changed its name back to Sauber, and in 2026, it became Audi. In an effort to keep their spots on the grid, Bottas and teammate Zhou Guanyu have been in talks with other teams in addition to Sauber. Nico Hülkenberg has already committed to the team for 2025, while Carlos Sainz is the openly declared goal for the other seat. A Williams representative responded to Speed Cafe's report by telling the publication, "There are always rumours in F1 and we aren't paying any attention to them. We have an exciting driver lineup and our focus is on the very tight midfield battle this year. We always have an eye on the future and are assessing our options for 2025 and beyond, but our focus is on delivering maximum success in 2024. So there you go, silly season, it's already starting and it's going to affect the majority of drivers on the grid. Which one of these drivers you think will move to any of the teams mentioned in the video? Will we see Sainz at Mercedes, Bottas at Williams, or maybe a young Kimi Antonelli replacing the 7th-time champion Lewis Hamilton? Let us know in the comments down below.